But she also brought us Dr. Oz and The Secret. We have to remember what this lady has done.
She has to be held accountable.
I forgive her, but The Secret is a particularly egregious offense.
What, you don't believe? You don't believe?
Believe?
I want to be rich.
Son, I stopped watching Oprah because it was just too anti-male, and I felt like I didn't want to bring him up in a home where Oprah was constantly attacking men, and it's really helped. Sure.
Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson just joined forces in an unexpected cultural takedown, and their target, none other than the legendary Oprah Winfrey. What unfolded was part satire, part scathing critique, and entirely unfiltered. They didn't just poke fun, they tore through her billion-dollar brand with surgical precision. Rogan ripped into the glossy world of wellness culture, calling out the pseudoscience wrapped in affirmations and organic juice cleanses. Meanwhile, Tucker peeled back the polished layers of Oprah's empire, revealing what he dubbed a carefully curated system of emotional influence cloaked in kindness. Vision boards, torched, scented candles, obliterated. It wasn't shade, it was a seismic shakeup of the Queen's cultural throne.
Yes, and it's honestly...
She's a little old to be falling down. You loved it?
I loved it.
Wow.
Loved it.
You
She didn't
like
get
when
hurt.
people get hurt.
She's fine.
She's dead.
She died?
Yes.
All right. Ding dong. The witch is dead.
She did.
No,
Imagine if she did, and I was
if she died from the
joking
fall?
about her. No, she didn't die.
No, she's fine. I just think, like...
She looks like she got hurt.
It's nice to see Bill...
And remember, keep your boys away from Oprah. It'll make them feel bad about
I didn't
being
quite know
men.
how to respond to that.
And it's absolutely true. Keep your girls away from rap, your boys away from Oprah, and everybody will be fine.
Joe Rogan didn't tiptoe into the conversation. He crashed in like a caffeine-fueled freight train, eyes wide and dialed in. Imagine him spotting Oprah's book club lounging on his front porch, casually flipping through self-help manifestos like they owned the place. With that familiar spark in his eye and a smirk that screamed, "I know something you don't," he launched into a takedown that was part stand-up, part philosophical street fight. It wasn't subtle. It was Rogan unleashed, tearing through the topic like a grizzly discovering a charcuterie board at a yoga retreat.
I imagine myself flying. I can fly. I will beat my wings until I take off. What's up?
Yeah.
It was one of the more I want to say disturbing, but it was confusing when that was taking hold of people. When I had friends that were telling me that The Secret is real and that they imagined they were going to fulfill these childhood dreams that they had about whatever, being a fucking astronaut, whatever it would be. There's a couple people that I knew that were trying to tell me that The Secret was going to be the thing and that they had a vision board and they had photographs, they put pictures up of the things that they wanted, like them in front of large crowds and shit. I'm like, oh boy.
Them in front of large crowds.
This is so not how it works.
Joe described Oprah's influence as something cosmic, like the pull of a black hole. Get too close, and suddenly you're spiraling into a world of kale chips, moon-charged crystals, and $790 gratitude journals that somehow feel like spiritual necessities. According to him, Oprah doesn't just market products, she casts spells. She turns scented soap into sacred rituals and everyday objects into portals of self-discovery. Rogan joked that if Oprah bottled tap water, she could convince half the country it was hand-harvested from the melted glaciers of ancient Himalayan wisdom. It's persuasion wrapped in velvet, and it's wildly effective.
It is more controversial to criticize Oprah than to burn the American flag.
Really?
Seems that way. I've never heard anybody criticize Oprah. Do you think it's political, or do you think it's deeper than that? I mean, you're not like a right-winger.
No.
No? No. You don't even seem that political.
No, I'm not really. I'm pretty much,
Then Joe leaned in with that sly grin, the kind that says he's about to drop something both hilarious and uncomfortably true, and said, people treat Oprah like she's the messiah of good vibes. And honestly, he's not far off. A lot of her advice lands somewhere between a Pinterest quote and a fortune cookie written during a spa day existential crisis. It's all find your inner light, manifest your destiny, and burn this candle while journaling your way to joy. As if a meme and lavender oil could fix your credit score.
Sold, but Oprah sold it. I mean, she was one of the big ones, man, and she was
in.
She was fucking 50 years old at the time. I mean, this is not a young woman who was selling this. How old is Oprah now?
75.
89? See? No, she just ran a marathon in 4 hours.
Joe couldn't resist diving into what he called the Oprah effect, that uncanny phenomenon where anything she even glances at turns into a national obsession. But, as he put it, it's not alchemy, it's mass hypnosis with a smile. Oprah could point to an ordinary mop, dub it a life charger, and by morning, stores across the country would be sold out. Not because people need to clean, but because they believe it might somehow cleanse their soul. According to Joe, Oprah's influence is so deep-rooted, if she told folks that eating pine cones balanced their chakras, Whole Foods would have an artisanal pine cone section by Tuesday.
I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. You know, I don't know what it is, but, you know, several of my, you know, I had a movie called Barbershop, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate.
And don't even get Joe started on Oprah's interviews. He said, watching Oprah talk to celebrities is like watching a therapist broadcast from another planet. Mars, maybe, except with better lighting and throw pillows. She asks a single question, then locks eyes like she's peering into your childhood trauma, and suddenly the A-lister across from her is sobbing into a silk tissue. According to Joe, she doesn't need follow-ups. A slow blink and a knowing nod. But he didn't stop there. Joe went on to describe Oprah as something far beyond a talk show host. In his words, she's become a kind of cultural oracle, a spiritual GPS system for millions of people trying to navigate life through scented candles, vision boards, and gluten-free enlightenment. She's not just influential, she's mythic. A floating lifestyle guru gently pushing the masses toward artisanal sourdough and vegan face cream, all while giving out car keys and trauma breakthroughs before lunch. Then Joe turned it all the way up. You know why Oprah's really powerful, he said, because she's the queen of the vague incite. She drops these cosmic one-liners that sound deep, even when they mean nothing. He laughed, threw his arms in the air, and added, we live in a world where Oprah could run for president and half the country would vote for her because she made them cry in 2006. Forget policy, she helped them find their inner child on a Tuesday afternoon rerun.
Is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC. Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, you know, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like, you are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 man.
As he leaned back in his chair with that trademark grin, Joe made one thing crystal clear: this wasn't hate. It was awe. Pure, unfiltered amazement. Here's a woman who became a billionaire not by launching rockets or inventing the next tech revolution, but by being everyone's emotional barista. She serves up piping hot cups of self-worth, topped with foam hearts of affirmation and a side of commercial break. It's not therapy, it's talk show alchemy. Meanwhile, in a darker, more brooding corner of the media jungle, Tucker Carlson was suiting up for his own brand of battle. Picture a man who analyzes stock tickers through a magnifying glass, listens to Vivaldi while polishing antique rifles, and paces like a detective on the edge of cracking a Cold War case. That's the energy Tucker brought. He didn't just criticize, he deconstructed. With the calm intensity of someone examining a high-level threat, he argued that Oprah isn't merely a media icon. She's the reigning monarch of soft power. The velvet hammer, the smiling strategist. Then he narrowed his gaze and said something that hung in the air like a dropped truth bomb. Oprah is the most dangerous kind of powerful, professionally nice. The kind of nice that feels like a velvet rope around your neck.
You know, I had a movie called Barbershop, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate with the cast. I produced a show called Black White, and it was a very controversial show. And once again, they had the whole cast on, but I wasn't invited. And so I don't know.
On Oprah's show.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's.
But Oprah's obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude?
Tucker shifted gears into full philosopher mode, the kind where his voice drops and every sentence Sounds like it should be engraved in stone. The world sees Oprah as the embodiment of goodness, he said, but in reality, she's the CEO of curated vulnerability. According to him, Oprah doesn't just share feelings, she packages trauma like a luxury handbag and sells redemption in sleek, subscription-based installments. You get a healing, you get a healing, everyone gets a healing, he said, as long as they have the app and a working credit card. He claimed Oprah turned crying into a scalable business model. Once you're rich, Tucker said, even your pain becomes profitable. Her brand? Feel deeply, spend generously. She doesn't just pitch products, she markets enlightenment, selling the illusion that fulfillment can be found somewhere between a cashmere throw blanket and a Himalayan salt lamp glowing in your reading nook. Then came the part where Tucker looked genuinely shaken. He said Oprah made it trendy to treat self-help like a new age religion, therapy like brunch banter, and feelings like emotional NFTs. In her universe, inner turmoil is monetizable, and healing comes with its own promo code. But he wasn't done, not even close. Oprah doesn't run a TV network, he said. She runs a spiritual NLM with artisanal lighting. If she so much as whispers about a doormat changing her life, Home Depot becomes ground zero for a suburban pilgrimage, soccer moms tearfully lining aisle 3, cradling welcome mats like sacred relic.
Those fucking shiny bottom shoes, them bitches are useless. You
Yeah,
can't
they're
wear
gonna
those
fall.
things. They're so slippery. Those really expensive shoes that the gals like that always have the shiny bottoms.
Yeah.
Here she is walking, and I believe she's talking about balance, which is LOL.
He said Oprah's real power doesn't lie in her millions of viewers. It lives in the silence between her sentences. It's the pause, the look, that slow, deliberate nod that feels like it's peeling back your soul layer by layer. People don't just talk to her, Tucker said. They confess. Things they've never told their spouses, their therapists, or even themselves. He called it emotional sorcery, like acupuncture for the spirit, but with commercial breaks and a book giveaway. Then his voice dropped a little, less mocking, more measured. The scariest thing about Oprah, he said, she never blinks first. In any room, any conversation, she's the calmest presence, like she's already lived the next decade of your life and is just quietly watching you fumble toward what she already knows. You could be in full emotional collapse, crying, panicking, unraveling, and there she is, one hand rested gently in her lap, the other holding a silk-bound notebook, looking at you as if you just announced it might rain next Tuesday. Then came the eyebrow raise, the Tucker signature. If there were a Mount Rushmore of media manipulation, he said, Oprah wouldn't be a sculpture. She'd be the entire mountain. She didn't just create a brand, she engineered a belief system. A religion of resonance where she's both high priestess and prophet. The gospel? Feel your truth. Monetize your pain. Package it with grace. Sell it with a smile. And then he leaned back, arms folded, as the image hung in the air, an empire built not on fear, but on warmth, silence, and a recommendation that comes with a limited-time promo code. Then Joe shifted his focus to the iconic giveaways, the stuff of daytime TV legend. He said watching Oprah's audience react was like witnessing a spiritual awakening. Grown adults screaming, crying, shaking over blenders and discount cruises, like they'd just been anointed by the divine hand of consumerism. Oprah, poised like a benevolent goddess of gifting, would flash that smile as if she were bestowing sacred relics upon the chosen. While behind the scenes, a marketing team probably slow-clapped in euphoric triumph. But Tucker wasn't letting the spectacle slide either. He came in from the other angle, sharp as ever. He said the true brilliance of Oprah's empire isn't just in the giveaways or the glamour. It's in the silence she cultivates. There's no room for dissent. Disagreeing with Oprah isn't an opinion, it's heresy. Say you didn't connect with a book she picked, and you might as well prepare for social exile. It's not just influence, it's indoctrination. You don't just watch Oprah.
All things are equal or at peace at all times.
Oh, she bites the dust. Let's see how she recovers.
She
Hold
says
on.
new shoes.
Oh, those rude fucks. They
Oh,
edited it
come
so she
on.
hits the ground over and over again. Well, you know what? I gotta say, I like how she framed with her elbow and then did a roll. She
Right.
absorbed a lot of
See?
energy in a roll.
Good technique, Oprah.
Joe even joked that Oprah could waltz into a heated policy debate, say absolutely nothing about legislation, speak softly for 6 minutes about spiritual alignment and inner peace, and still walk out with a standing ovation and bipartisan support. Politicians spend decades mastering the art of persuasion. Oprah just breathes calmly, recommends a gratitude practice, and instantly polls higher than the Surgeon General. Tucker chimed in with his signature deadpan, saying Oprah is probably the only person alive who could launch a full-blown religion, casually call it brunch, and have millions sign up without question. Picture it: scented candles, linen robes, and a sacred reading list curated by Oprah herself. There'd be mimosas and mantras, and people would enroll twice, once for spiritual growth, once for the curated skincare samples. And as both men leaned back, gazing at the cultural juggernaut that is Oprah, one thing was clear: the roast wasn't finished. Because with Oprah, there's always another layer, another smile, and another trillion-dollar revelation wrapped in a whisper.